Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Let's Draw and Talk. And I currently have Glow on in the background. Episode one. So this will be like a small little review of sorts. If you don't know what Glow is, it's the glamorous, gorgeous. It's the It's the glamorous ladies of wrestling. Gorgeous ladies. The glamorous ladies of wrestling, which was an actual thing back in the day. Never got to see it. I was not born when it was made. However, I think it went into the 90s. So I'm surprised I didn't see it. The series starts off with the main character reading, and it's good. I like it. I've watched it multiple times. I don't know why more people don't talk about Glow. It's a wonderful it's a wonderful story. It's full of different different things, different storytelling elements, and it's down to earth. It has a very limited amount of fantastical elements, and most of the fantastical aspects fit within the wrestling storytelling motif, which I really do enjoy. As somebody who used to watch wrestling, that was something that I really, really did appreciate as far as Glow goes and the storytelling for Glow. I used to be into that stuff. I guess you can hardly avoid it whenever you're born in Texas. It's kind of it's actually part of the culture. I would argue that it's very much a big part of the Texas culture. A lot of the big names in entertainment wrestling, which is uh, a different animal from all the other aspects of wrestling, Olympic wrestling, whatnot. So the different animal, but like entertainment wrestling, that was a big thing for me growing up. I had some uncles that were really into it um, because it kind of catered to the male. It kind of caters to males, I think, of a specific type. Yeah, I don't know how else to say that. I don't know how else to say that. But yes, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Just Ruth alone, man, she's such a dynamic character. And unlike most heroes in a story who seem flawless or, they're supposed to be, you can just tell, like the Jon Snows, you just know that they're going to do the right thing. The Jon Snows of the world. Um, but yeah, and I'm also drawing up the back and practicing some anatomy stuff because we all need to do that. We all need to be well informed when it comes to our bodies, not just the calorie intake, but the functionality of those things that happen or that go on with our bodies, the movement. So nowadays, I feel like people have a very high standard for um, what am I trying to say? I feel like people have a very high standard for knowledge and information. Um, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's not the case with everyone, but I've seen, in my experience, a lot of good people utilize information from other sources, and it always helps. And what I mean is like, there's functional aspects to the way the body and the muscles connect and how they move and how the motorization of those muscle groups, you know, act in relation to each other. And I'm all about the relationship between things. Doesn't matter what it is. If there's a relationship to be to be explored in any aspect of something, then I'm all for it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go try and find it. Search out. Search out. I may have drawn the head a little bit too small. It's okay. There we go. Just do that. And, oh, it's the introduction of Debbie has already happened. Debbie's one of the other main characters in the storyline. Very important. Very important for the growth of our hero. I don't know if there's necessarily a hero in this sort of story. I don't think the story dictates that there be a hero because each of these characters is, well, I mean, first of all, the story is rooted off of an actual group of women that worked as wrestlers in the 70s and 80s, I guess. I better check the dates on that. It's at least the 80s. And yeah, I think that none of them are actually heroes. Things happen in the story that make you, I guess, as a viewer, question their motives. Um, but I don't think anybody in the story actually merits being saved and actually even needs to be saved unless it continues. Well, I've seen the entirety of the series, so um, unless we continue as an audience to become more connected to those characters, and then all of a sudden something bad happens, and then we're like, okay, yeah, now's the time for said person to come around and do something, um, which does happen in real life, I think. That's why these stories are so wonderful, because they're based off of I mean, most stories, when I would go so far as to say most stories are based off of some experience in life. Otherwise, there would be less value to them, and they might not even get told. But that's just one point of view. Who knows what I'm seeing? Pitta. How is that happening? Why does that pop in my head? Pitta. Ah, the introduction of Sam Sylvia, who's a fictional character based off of the actual director of the show, or the Glow wrestling show. I forget his name, which is sad, because Sam Sylvia stands out more right now. Just me being an average fan, not like a diehard fan, although I could very well be a diehard fan of the series because I love it so much. And Sam is a neat character. He's not exactly a good guy. He's a misogynist. He's a sexist. Maybe misogynist? Maybe he is a misogynist. Well, no, he's not a misogynist. He's sexist, though, and racist in some ways. But I don't think he embodies the full aspect of racism and sexism. Because in the story, even though those are parts of his character, they 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 don't exactly fit at the top of the hierarchy of what his character is about. Because honestly, he's trying to make a decent show, and that's what he's been hired for in the series. Is he's been hired by this one wealthy uh, one wealthy gentleman, and I say gentleman, I guess he kind of is. Bash Howard, which I don't know if Bash Howard is an actual production company or, but it's Bash Howard Productions. But he gets hired by Bash, and yeah, it's just wonderful because I actually like Sam Sylvia in the series, and even though he has these incredibly, just questionable parts of his life, or the questionable things that he does or has did, it's never really shown that he's done anything sexist or racist, but aside from saying stuff that's sexist and racist. So, anyways, he's a very multi-dimensional character, I think. Three-dimensional character? Yeah. At the beginning, he starts out really, really distant. He doesn't want to. He's there to do a job, and he's not there to connect with these women. And then they grow on him, and he even ends up falling for one of them, and one of them is even. Let's not spoil that. If you watch the series, you'll find out. Yeah, it's a good series. I like it. And it's the kind of storytelling that I think I like right now. I mean, I have been watching a lot of sci-fi, but something about this feels more very real. Like you can see all of these characters being people and just going about their lives struggling, trying to be actors, trying to just have jobs, um, surviving holocausts of sorts, and they have actual stories to tell that fit within the happenings of the world at the time, and that's always interesting to me. I like that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I've also been watching Power Rangers. I like that stuff as well. Um, but I also like it when I can relate to So like I can relate to the characters on some level. And when it comes to Power Rangers, they're all good. Even the ones that start out bad end up being good. And good to an extreme level where they do the right thing. And that's fine. We need stories like that. We need stories that are inspiring and inspire us to be the best we can be. But we also need real stories, challenging stories. And I've been debating watching Picard and I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but Star Trek Discovery, because I hear a lot of negative things as far as like, oh, it's not staying true to the Gene Roddenberry theology of Star Trek, having surpassed these notions of uh, barbarism. I don't know if that's the right word, but it seems like in these newer Star Trek series, that they focus on trying to make things feel real, so they've got tons of profanity in them, and they have darker stories where people are dying and doing things that are crazy, and you wouldn't see that in the original Star Trek series. It was very lighthearted, and even in things like Voyager, uh, it had darker moments, but nothing so disturbing. And I don't know. I don't know if people are going for shock value or what. Uh, excuse me. Yeah, it does. I hear it. I hear different things. I hear different things. So if you like that kind of stuff, that's fine. I'm not going to judge. I like all kinds of storytelling, and not everyone agrees with the stories that I like. I might tell somebody, yeah, I actually like Force Awakened or you know the Last Jedi or whatever, and they'll say, "Oh, that was a terrible movie," and then we'll go about our day. You know, you don't have to like it. And I haven't seen the last Star Wars movie, so that's what's going to make or break whether I like this new trilogy or not, how it's told. And I've already decided for myself that's, uh, that that can, I'm the only one that's going to be able to decide if I like it. Huh, huh, huh. Yeah, let's see. Oh, they're in the ring right now. Doing auditions. This is a part of the story where you kind of like think that Sam is just an asshole. He's just there to just kind of pick on these people, these women. Um, he's doing his job, and he doesn't have much to work with because a lot of these women are not wrestlers, they're not actors. So that's a tough spot. That's a tough spot to be. I imagine. I don't know. I've never been a director, so I wouldn't know. But then again, these women to put themselves out there like this, and they didn't realize that they were going to be signing up for an audition for a wrestling show. Like that takes courage just to get into that ring, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You know? And then to be out there in the spandex or just two little simple pieces of clothing that are just so revealing. That's man, that's tough because it seems almost uncomfortably intimate. And then you got people judging you. I guess most auditions are like that. I've never been to an audition. Uh, I've never done anything like that. So I'm just saying that it looks really, really tough though, to put yourself out there like that in front of for somebody who eventually doesn't even doesn't even pick you. Possibly, possibly. So some women do get picked, which is good. Glad they need to, especially in gold. Let's see. How much time do I have? 21 minutes has passed? Are you serious? No way. 1 minute. Oh, wow. Yep, that's my time for now. I'm going to call this one. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys next time.